guys, this is Coach LaRussa from MakePlayz.com, welcoming you back to another episode of Film Room Fridays. Today's episode is brought to you by IC2C, an app that gives you instant access to college coaches at any level, while also allowing you to follow teammates and fellow recruits. The cool thing is it's free to download and free to use, so take control of your recruitment because your future is now. Download IC2C in the App Store today and join the movement that student athletes everywhere are becoming a part of. Now in today's episode, we're going to take a look at the most commonly used screen in today's game. And we're going to take a look at one of the best players in that screen. We're going to take a look at Kyrie Irving in each read and reaction in a ball screen.
Everybody learns in their own way, but I believe that seeing things done right is the fastest way to figure something out. Watching a master at their craft over and over until you can visualize it with your eyes closed. That's the reason for this series, and my mission is to play my part in creating better basketball for the next generation. Now pick and roll is the most used screening action in today's game, so guards have to get a deep understanding of each read, which is why today we'll break down one of the best in the world, a master in pick and roll, the one and only Kyrie Irving. So let's start by looking at Kyrie get straight line drives off the ball screen. In this first clip, Iggy is guarding LeBron, but as LeBron screens Curry, Shumpert sets the screen, forcing Iggy to switch, but it's too late. Kyrie has a head of steam by the time he gets there, coming to a 2-foot finish in the paint. In these next couple of clips, the on-ball defender gets screened, followed by Kyrie going right at the big who's showing. This isn't a one-speed attack. As he comes off the screen, he hesitates to read the defense, and then shifts gears to blow by the big. He'll use an in-and-out dribble or a stutter step to get the big off balance, then burst forward for the finish. But even after he gets by the defender, these are not easy finishes. You've got to be fearless, and you've got to be a contact seeker. Initiating contact allows him to create separation, and then the hang time allows him to avoid the shot blockers. And he makes all of this look easy, but make no mistake, this takes countless hours of repetition. But it's not unachievable either. If you learn these reads and get the skills to go with it, you can create a shot for yourself or your teammates on any given ball screen. In the NBA, when you put bigs in a ball screen, they typically don't want to come out too high because they're too slow and they don't want to leave the basket unprotected. So they play down, allowing the guard to use the screen as they wait for them in the paint. This is a situation where the guard can snake the big, coming off the screen one way and then crossing over to the other. The same rules apply. Come tight off the screen, hesitate and read, and then if it's there, burst forward with a crossover. This is a situation seen a lot in the NBA, mainly because it's a game of matchups. So they put bigs in a ball screen to force a mismatch as the guard comes off the screen. I mean, let's face it, what are the chances of Gortat cutting off Kyrie on the drive? I don't know about you, but I'm behind Tyronn Lue on that decision. But let me point this out. None of this happens unless Kyrie gets his man even or below the screen in the first place. So for instance, right here, Kyrie uses a crossover to set him up. Curry takes the bait, and then Kyrie is in position to run him off the screen. Now in these last three clips, Kyrie mixes up his moves on the big. He uses a hesitation shot fake on McGee, and here he uses what we call a drop cross, which is just a crossover with a jab step in the opposite direction. Both moves are very effective in this situation where guards are snaking the bigs. For every move, there's a counter, and just like anything, once you do it a few times, the defense will catch on to try to take that away. So instead of snaking the big, Kyrie will fake the snake, which is just a double crossover once he comes off the screen. The key here is to really engage the defender one way. You want him to turn his hips, and then once he's in motion, it's a hard cross back to attack the basket for the finish. Several of these plays were featured in the top 10, but now that you're taking the time to study it, there's a method to the madness. These aren't random freestyle moves. These are reads and reactions for situations he's rehearsed a million times. And what you're seeing are the fruits of his labor. Keep in mind here that each read is necessary, and as we move forward, I want you to remember that it's great to learn the skill for each read. But more important than knowing how is knowing when. You've got to know when to do it, and you've got to know in a split second. It's a known fact that Kyrie is one of the best finishers in the game of basketball, so oftentimes bigs will drop as he comes off the screen. It's a situation where they're already down, but as Kyrie drives, they drop even more, opening things up for the pull-up jumper. This is a strategy by opposing coaches to give up the jumper instead of allowing the drive. And sometimes it works, but oftentimes, when Kyrie comes off the screen with this much space, he can knock down the jumper with ease. He's a 48% mid-range shooter and a 40% three-point shooter, so it's shocking to see teams defend him like this. But it shows how good he really is at getting to the basket. He gets pull-up jumpers from both mid-range and three-point range in this situation, and it's another read that plays into his whole game. All those drives we showed have caused this defensive scenario, and if he couldn't shoot, this would be a very effective way to guard him. But because he can shoot, it's a roll of the dice for opposing coaches. They're hoping they can slow him down, but they're praying he doesn't catch fire. When it comes to the split, there's an art to its execution. Kyrie softly throws the ball between the defenders and then chases it down before the defense can get to it. The key here is to dribble the ball low, preferably below your knee and even down to your ankles. You gotta get down into a stance and then burst between the defenders when the gap opens up. Kyrie typically gets this coverage once he's knocked down a few jumpers and coaches feel him starting to heat up. It's a risk, but they'll bring the defense out higher to put more ball pressure on him, hoping they can force him to get rid of it. But when the bigs don't take the right angle and they leave a gap, they're in big trouble because Kyrie can split, putting both defenders behind him and having broad daylight in front of him. This forces a scramble on the defense as the weak side has to rotate over to stop him from getting a layup. So whether Kyrie scores or not, someone is going to be wide open for a shot. And once again, his ability to read the defensive coverage on the fly is creating instant offense for his team. Another strategy that coaches will use is to force him to reject the screen. Many call this icing the ball screen, where the on-ball defender cheats over the screen before Kyrie uses it, forcing him to reject it. This can be effective at times, but it can also be ineffective because once again, it puts the pressure on the big to stop penetration. So there are times that the defense forces him to reject, and there are other times that he rejects on his own because he sees a gap in the other direction. I'm gonna be blunt right now. When Kyrie has the ball in pick and roll, he's looking to score first. So if that means rejecting the screen with a hard crossover to go into a pull-up three, he'll take it. Not everyone has the green light like this, but then again, Kyrie's not your everyday player. This next scenario is a go-to move for him in a drag screen. The behind-the-back dribble followed by a downhill drive. Sometimes it's a double move and sometimes it's not, but this is one of the reasons I love his game. It's unique to him. I haven't seen too many players use this move in this situation, but as I dug through the film, I found him doing this more and more. It's not the textbook move to use in this situation, but that doesn't matter. He's made it his move. It's part of his art. And when we look back on his career, I believe we'll remember him as one of the most creative guards to play the game. But we're not done yet, because none of this can happen if you can't make the defense pay for going under the screen. If Kyrie couldn't shoot, on-ball defenders would always go under the screen. This is a similar situation that we looked at earlier, but this is twice as conservative. In the pull-ups against the drop, the on-ball defender still went over the screen. But now we've got the on-ball going under while the big is still in help. So the defense has two there to stop him from driving. And this is how guards who can't shoot get played in pick and roll. And if you can't knock it down right here, the defense will sag on you all game, preventing paint touches altogether, which can literally take away everything we've looked at so far. There is one way for the defense to prevent him from turning the corner, but it comes at a cost. They can switch it, but it's not easy to do when bigs are screening. This creates mismatches, and of all people to be stuck on an island with, Kyrie Irving might be the worst, and his teammates know it. They spread the floor and let him go to work, and whoever gets caught in that situation, good luck. He's gonna be aggressive. It's another read, and it's the right one. Either he's gonna attack his mismatch, or his screener is gonna rim run and seal because he's got a guard on him. So unless it's a versatile defender switching it, it's probably not the best idea to have bigs switch onto guards like Kyrie Irving. It's an easy read, and it could end up with an easy bucket. At the end of the day, when you're dealing with a superstar, it's all about picking your poison. You can't stop him from doing everything, and even when your defense executes exactly what you call, it still might not work. There's just only so much a defender can do against a guard who has the skill and the IQ of every read in a pick and roll. Kyrie Irving is one of the best, and there's a lot that young players can learn from him. But I'll finish with this. He's only 25 years old, but even when he was 19, he was caught on camera telling Kobe he could beat him in one-on-one. This is a different mentality. The great ones have this in common. They don't see limitations, they only see challenges, and they believe in their ability to accept the challenge and eventually dominate the challenge, regardless of who's standing in front of them.